Disclaimer: this video contains information about female pelvic health, endometriosis, and its effects. If period talk makes you feel uneasy or you're just simply not interested in this video, please click the link here or in the description box below to go to my channel's homepage. Thank you. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel with the funky colored new hair. I had a really rough week last week and I'm starting to feel better. So I decided to kind of give myself a little pick-me-up by just changing the color of my hair. So here I am. Today, I just want to talk about how endometriosis affected me as a mother. Endo's ugly face transformed me in such a way that I couldn't cope with. And at the time, I didn't realize just how bad it could get. When I was diagnosed with endometriosis, my daughter had just turned 6 and things were not easy. Way before I got diagnosed with endometriosis, I was going through a lot with my period. I was ending up in the hospital feeling unwell and being diagnosed with gastroenteritis. So I was having a lot of digestive issues that no one could explain and that I had questions for, like, you know, why do I keep getting sick? What is wrong with me that I'm ending up here on a monthly basis? And sometimes it would be really, really bad. And I would have to spend hours at the hospital getting tested for things that had nothing to do with what was going on with me. And my daughter is seeing me struggle with this. She's seen me having to pull over and throw up on the side of the road because I was unwell. She has seen me pass out and people have to call ambulances because I'm unwell and send me off to the hospital, and then she has to stay home wondering what's going on with mommy. She's been with me at home when I call out from work and I was not well because of a period, and I'd be in the bathroom struggling, panting the pain away and breathing through it like I was giving birth because I didn't know what else to do. And she'd be outside the door wondering, Mom, are you okay? Do you need me to call Daddy? Do you want me to get you something? Is there anything I can do? And she was, 4, 5, and 6 years old offering these things to me. She was the one staying home with me when my husband was unable to stay home because of a new job or because he's called out way too many times already and we don't want to have him risk losing his employment. And instead of stressing of bringing her to school and then he's got to leave early to pick her up because I can't, we would just keep her home and she'd stay home with me. And if I made a mess on the bed, if I took a nap and woke up in a bloody murder scene, she was the one there helping me to get underwear and pads or tampons or pain medication. And she was a very active part of everything endo related in my life before diagnosis. Once I was diagnosed with endometriosis, we had answers. We knew this is why I'm going through this. And I'm pretty sure in her little mind, she was like, well, this is why my mom is sick. This is, the doctors made her feel better. She's had surgery. She shouldn't be going through anything anymore because that's what doctors do. They're supposed to help you feel better. I mean, that's what I raised her to believe. And, at the time, I didn't know that endometriosis was going to be a permanent struggle for me and maybe and an indefinite one. With the information I know now, I know that I can get surgery and be a lot better off than the surgery that I've had previously. But there are no guarantees. When will it come back and attack and ravage my body and make me feel horrible again? And I feel like it could be a waiting game. No doctor, regardless of how amazingly skilled they are, can give me a 100% guarantee. And that's the uncertainty that I live with now with the information that I have with now. But at the time of my first surgery, we felt, now we know what the problem is. All disease was removed, so I'm never going to suffer from this again. As I recovered from surgery and she saw me every day getting stronger and feeling better and not suffering from pain as intensely, she got her hopes up. Mom's gonna feel so much better. We're going to have playtime. We're going to be able to go to the park. Maybe we could go to the skating rink. Maybe we could go catch a movie. I'm pretty sure that there were a lot of aspects of things that as a child she wanted, that she knew in her little heart that, okay, my mom is better, it's going to happen now. She had already sacrificed so much time to me laying on the couch. You know, if she wanted to be cuddled and I was not well, you gotta lay next to me, you know, on the couch. Come recline on the lazy boy because I can't carry you. I'm hurting. And you would think, oh, she's a big kid. She doesn't need to be carried anymore. But she's just a baby at 4 and 5 years old. You're just about getting ready to go to kindergarten. You're probably still at daycare. And a lot of reassurance happens in this stage of a child's life where you can tell them, hey, you're getting older, you're getting stronger, you can become independent, you can tie your own shoes, you can maybe get yourself a juice box out of the fridge, or you can grab a little snack, grab a couple of cookies out of the cookie jar for yourself. You teach them to be independent because they're going to be going to school and they're not going to have everything handed to them like mommy does. So you start preparing your child for a certain level of independence, yet there's still an aspect of babying them that stays. And that aspect of parenting is something that I had to completely and abruptly give up. I had to slowly stop sitting on the floor to play with her because cramps would take a hold of me and then I couldn't move. And if I got locked while I was on the floor and no one was there to help, then, you know, we're in a situation where I'm gonna have to tell her to call dad to come home from work or to call an ambulance so they can get me up off the floor. You know what I'm saying? And I can't, that's not gonna happen. So as opposed to putting everyone in a position of extreme worry, I sacrificed playtime more often than not with my kid because I was not well. But after surgery, I started feeling better and she started seeing a mother that she was missing out on a lot. And we started playing and we were going here and we were going there and everywhere. And unfortunately, in that same year, I got into a car accident and she basically lost her mother on many levels. Yes, I'm still here to parent. I'm alive, I'm breathing, I don't have broken bones, but the pains of the car accident overlapped the pains of endo and of my periods. It became a vicious cycle of hurt. And she was not prepared to deal with that. As a child, you're never prepared to have to parent your parent, you know? Your parent takes care of you. You don't take care of your parent. And there were many times where she was bored out of her mind because I couldn't do much of interaction with her. At that age, you're a very active kid. Even if you're a lazy kid and you really don't want to run around, you're pretty active, you know? And there's a demand as a parent and as a mother that no one really can prepare you for, and you don't really know until you live it. And once I started seeing how it was depriving me of my child, I knew that it was going to be a heartbreaking journey, and I was not prepared at all to deal with it. And with everything that I had going on at that time in my life, especially with depression, you know, I think she was making an extremely large sacrifice to be understanding of the situation her mom's going through, even though she doesn't know all the details. Even though we hadn't given her all the details of everything that was going on with my health, we did have to, at a very early age, explain to her what a period was, why women get periods, and what happens, you know, at her level. We didn't say you get a period because that's what you need, so when you have sex, you could get pregnant. We didn't explain it like that. We were trying our best to not dumb it down, but just answer her questions. If she had another question after we gave her an answer, then we would answer that question. We weren't giving out information that she was not asking for. And to be quite honest, we speak a lot of Spanish in my household, especially when, back when she was that little. We barely speak Spanish that often in the house now. But when she was that little, we spoke a lot of Spanish to her. And the simplest way that I could explain it to her was, that is a product mommy needs when she does red poop. Cuando mami hace caquita roja, eso es como un pañal, pero chiquito. It's like a little mini diaper. That's how I explained it to her at 3 and 4 years old when things started developing in my life. And as goofy as that explanation may sound, and maybe people might not get it, but that doesn't matter. She was the one that needed to understand why I was calling her to the bathroom, wincing in pain, and asking for a pad. So that's what I needed to do. As a mom, I needed to prepare my daughter to find out this information in case I passed out in the bathroom from my period and she found me in a bloody mess. I didn't want her to come in and think that I had died. Having given her that explanation really helped as well when it was her turn to get her period. And she got her period very early, as I did. We both got our periods when we were 8 years old. So this was something that was not shocking to her. It was not disgusting to her. It was just like, oh, my period's here. Mom, I think I need some assistance in how to deal with this on my own. And we helped her. So like I said, as goofy as it may sound, it was helpful in providing her information and answering questions as to why mom doesn't feel well as preparing her for when it was her turn to go through a monthly cycle. As time continued in our lives and I slowly started getting a little bit better from that car accident, and I started feeling better from having had surgery earlier that year, I noticed that, like I said earlier, everything from the car accident overlapped with, with period pains. And, I was on the Lupron, and then the side effects from the Lupron started kicking in. So I was really starting to go downhill health-wise. And it created a situation where I needed to be on bed rest quite often and sleeping quite often and leaving her unattended quite often. And I don't mean like completely unattended, but in reality, I was leaving her unattended more often than not throughout that time of my life because I couldn't be there for her. Mom, I'm hungry. Can you make me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? At 6 and 7 years old, I personally didn't want my kid dealing with knives. So I was teaching her how to spread peanut butter and jelly with a spoon. I was making sure that my dish rack was set up in a way where if she was reaching for anything, nothing can fall on her. She wasn't going to get poked or stabbed or injured in any way, shape, or form in the kitchen. So that meant a few extra steps for me. But remember, I'm not feeling well. I don't have the energy to spend taking these extra few steps, but I had to do it. And it made me feel horrible and useless and like a crap of a mother, because I felt that I should be making her that sandwich. I should be pouring her a cup of milk. Here I am buying half gallons or quarts of milk just so she could have the ease of pouring milk without making the mess. And you buy those containers of milk more often, you end up spending more money. And due to the car accident, I had lost my job. So I am low on funds now. So as a mother, I've got a lot of things going on that I feel are against me in parenting my child. And there are so many little aspects of parenting that you don't realize you do until something goes wrong. So I wasn't just missing out on the fun aspects of parenting, of taking my kid out, on a quick bike ride, or taking her to the roller skating rink, or meeting up with a friend, or playing Barbies with her in her bedroom. I wasn't just missing out on the fun part, but on the not so fun stuff, on the things that you just have to do because you're a parent. And it was challenging to be a mother and be unwell. Any parent will tell you parenting while sick is not fun. It's challenging. It makes you feel like crap. It just, you wish that someone else could swoop in, handle your kid to your standards so you could just rest. And you know, that comes when you get a cold or the flu or got a stomach virus or a headache, or if you suffer from migraines or any other illness that may put you out for the count for a few hours or a couple days or a week, you know? So that's basically my life on a daily basis, and it's getting worse. And as it gets worse, more questions come, more concerns come, and we have to address all of those questions and all of those concerns when they happen at her level. So we had an extremely challenging time at parenting because she's wondering, why is mom crying in the middle of the night? She didn't realize that I was trying to keep quiet and not let them know that I was struggling with a cramp. You know, my husband's laying right next to me trying to rest because he's got to wake up at the crack of dawn to go to work. And he was holding down 2 jobs and he's got to take her to school. And here I am on a period doing my best to keep quiet, to not cry, to just hold it all in. But there were times that I couldn't, and I would be crying into my pillow. And she heard that and was wondering, Mom, were you crying last night? And here I am trying to be brave and say, no, I was fine. I'm cool. Nothing is wrong. Are you sure, Mom? Because I heard you sniffling. And when you sniffle, that means you're crying. Kids are smart. They're not idiots. They know what's down. They know what's going on. So I felt like an asshole, quite honestly, for diminishing her intelligence and going, no, you probably dreamt something. I'm totally fine. I'm too proud to admit that mom can be sick. And it's okay because mom's going to get better and mom is doing everything in her power to get better health. Too proud to admit that I was not okay. And I look back now and I'm like, wow, that's BS. I could have just been open and told her the truth immediately. But no, I have to be proud and say that I was totally cool that she was the one imagining things. And Lord knows maybe I caused extra concern and worry for her because now she's doubting herself. And there came a time where pretending was no longer an option. She needed to have questions answered. And it didn't take very long. It was a very short time frame where I could kind of play it off and go, no, it's okay. You probably just heard some noises outside, or maybe it was a bird rustling in the bushes, or maybe you just had a dream and you thought it was real. Eventually, she was like, Mom, tell me the truth. Were you crying last night? And I couldn't pretend. And I said, yes, I was crying last night. And this is the time frame where very serious questions came up. And that's why I said, like, we would answer them at her level. And I wouldn't give more information out than what she needed. If she needed more information, she was going to ask for more. Mom, were you crying last night? Yes, I was crying. Oh, okay. She would move on with her life. That was enough at the moment, then I'm not going to tell her anymore. But then there came a time where she was like, Mom, were you crying last night? And I'd say, yes, I was crying last night. Are you okay now? Yes, I'm okay now. And she would go on her merry way. Didn't need to give more information. Not necessary. Then there was a time when she's like, why were you crying last night? And I'd have to tell her, I'm having tummy problems. My tummy hurts. Is it because of your period, Mom? Yes, it is. Oh, okay. And that was enough, then we would move on with our lives. But if she had an additional question, we would answer it. And it was a very difficult time because it's a time frame in her little life where she felt, well, my mom had surgery, her tummy's better, her period is getting better. This means that she can finally get pregnant and give me a little brother or sister because I want to be a big sister. And her desire to be a big sister started at about 2 to 3 years old when she was in daycare. And, you know, she would see her little classmates and her friends and their siblings coming to daycare. She said, well, how come I'm coming by myself? I want to come to daycare with my little brother and my little sister and be a proud big sister. And she started asking those questions. And, you know, initially we would tell her, oh, we're not ready yet. You know, God has a way of working things, and we're working on his time. So we must all be patient, because just as much as you would like a little brother or a little sister, we would love to give you a little brother or a little sister. So we must be patient and wait until it happens. But one day it could happen, and we don't know when. So you need to learn to practice patience. I'm not getting ready to sit there and tell my daughter, well, your father and I have been trying to get pregnant for 2.5 years with no success, so deal with it. I couldn't do that. I couldn't bring her into that subject so full-fledged like that. And I didn't want to break her belief in anything. So we just said it happens, and whenever it happens, that's when we will be ecstatic and our little family will grow. But for now, we must be thankful for what we have. And we have us 3 in our little home, which we work hard every day to maintain. And that's what we have to be grateful for, because that's what's going on right now. And she was cool with that. She wasn't happy, but she understood it and she was cool with it. But eventually, after I had the surgery and the whole situation with the car accident, and I started doing Lupron, and we were being told that, you know, you can go see a fertility specialist so they can help you conceive. At that point in our lives, we started including her a lot in all of the process, because we didn't have anyone to leave her with. We couldn't, you know, oh, here's to the grandparents' home because we have a doctor's appointment. She was coming with us. So many times we were scheduling appointments while she was in school. But if appointments happened, you know, if we were able to get a weekend appointment or throughout the summer, then she was with us. And, you know, she would wonder, like, why are we at this doctor and not at the other doctor? Or why is this new doctor here? Who is this guy and what is he doing? So again, we would just answer the questions that she had. If she was fine, we would move on with our lives. If she wasn't, then we would just answer the next question in the line. So eventually she did learn that dad and mom are trying to give you a little brother or sister, but because we now know that mom has endometriosis and we're afraid that it could become a problem again, we're doing work with this new doctor to help avoid endometriosis and keep mom healthy, so mom can try and get pregnant, and hopefully we will be blessed with a little brother or sister. But mom is doing everything in her power to stay healthy and avoid problems with endometriosis. And she was totally cool with that. She understood it. In her little mind, it made sense. But eventually, just as we were affected by infertility and failed attempts and needing another surgery and all of that, you know, she was affected as well. She couldn't take it. And said, I'm being patient and I'm waiting and I'm waiting. Why isn't God giving me a brother or sister? Why isn't God realizing that I could be an amazing big sister? Why is God making me wait? I know you and dad are trying, but why is God basically not rewarding you for your efforts? And I didn't know what to tell her in the moment, except for saying, we must be patient. Remember, I would love to do it. And if it were in my power, it would have happened ages ago. But it is not in my power. That guy up there, he's the one that says when the time is right. We may not understand it now, but one day it'll happen. And when it will happen, we'll be extremely grateful and happy, and we'll welcome a new member to the little family, and you can help us guide them, because you are already old enough to have learned so many things that you can teach to a younger brother or sister, and you will do an amazing job. And she was not happy about it, but she understood it. She accepted it as best as she could, and we moved forward slowly. As time went on and I needed the second surgery, then I needed the third surgery, you know, we discussed her position in all of this as she got older and understood things a lot clearer, and she asked questions that were more in depth and wanted as much information as we were able to find on our own. And eventually she said, you know what, I'm okay with being an only child. I don't want to be, but I'm okay with it because I don't want to risk my mom's health. And to me, that took a lot of guts and a lot of maturity and intellect. I couldn't believe that those words had come out of her mouth. And she was, by this time, maybe, I want to say about 9 to 10 years old. And that took a lot of maturity to come to terms with it and explain it in that way. Not just come to terms with it, but to explain it in that way. And, you know, now when I'm still having moments where I mourn the loss of my fertility, you know, she's become my rock. She's like, Mom, I know that as a child, this is what you wanted, but, you know, don't worry. If you feel sad because you couldn't give me a brother or sister, I'm okay. Sometimes it makes me feel like, why did this happen? But it is what it is, and there's no way around it right now. So it's going to be okay. And I'm okay. I'm not angry about it, and I'm not heartbroken about it either. And that takes a lot of maturity from a kid. You know what I'm saying? It opened my eyes and made me realize, like, holy crap, you know, you were truly my miracle baby, because the support that she has given me as a child, I've never seen another kid be able to do that for their parent ever in my entire life. It does randomly hurt. You know, this past week was horrible for me because I was not expecting my period until later this week. I'm filming this video on, what's today, August 29th? Yeah, it's August 29th. And I didn't expect a period until later this week, and it came Sunday of last week. I forget the date, but, you know, not yesterday, but 8 days ago. And by Monday, I was starting to feel horrible. Tuesday was worse. Tuesday night was really bad. And then Wednesday and Thursday were the crappiest days of my life. Like, I just felt so sick to my stomach. The pain wasn't as bad as I can get because the gabapentin is helping, and it's, you know, it's helping. I'm not sure how to describe it, but I can tell the difference. But even with being able to tell the difference, there are so many other aspects for me of having a period that are just disastrous still. And, you know, this past week, I had a lot of days where all I could do was sit there and cry because I felt like total crap. I couldn't prepare. I couldn't work on my customers' orders. I couldn't film the videos that I wanted to film for the week. The ones that I had filmed, I ended up deleting them from everywhere, so I couldn't even finish working on them to have videos up for you guys for the week. It was too much. Too much happened. I couldn't cook. I couldn't prepare goodies. I couldn't go out shopping. Nothing in preparation that I do for a flare-up happened. My customers' orders were delayed. I just felt like a complete and total useless failure. And one day, I had enough. I wanted to give up. And I'm like, I'm breaking up with my uterus. I don't give a damn. I don't want a period anymore. I don't want a period for the rest of my life. I'd rather have surgery, remove my uterus so I don't have a period and still have to deal with endo symptoms, but I don't want a period ever again in my life. I'm done. And as I'm discussing this, saying it out loud and telling my husband about it, my daughter, she's around and she hears it and she's like, Mom, are you okay? And I look at her and I just can't help cry so bad. And I'm like, I'm just hating my horrible uterus. And all she did was walk up and give me a hug. And it was one of the most comforting moments I've had, because I remember every single time. She was my miracle baby before I realized I needed a miracle. And every single time that her awesomeness just naturally comes out, I'm reminded of that. And I'm so grateful for having been able to conceive when I wasn't even thinking of childbearing, you know? And I'm so glad that, you know, even though I was given options, do you want to proceed with the pregnancy or would you like to terminate the pregnancy, that I chose to proceed, because I just don't want to think of, I don't want to think of the other option. I don't want to think about it. So yeah, it still does hurt randomly. There are days where the three of us were just crying like a baby, and our dog is looking at us, and she's just wondering, like, why is my family so sad? And all she's doing is being goofy to try and help us through it. And, you know, it's challenging. You know, it's really hard. Being a mom and fighting an illness, and in my case, fighting an illness like endometriosis, has really made me question many times why, what's the reason, how come, why me? My daughter deserves everything that I can do or give. And 9 times out of 10, for the better part of her life, I couldn't do and I couldn't give. And when I think of those types of moments, or when those moments happen currently, I can't cope with it. That is not the standard that I set when I envisioned my future as a mother. We have had to have moments where the three of us do sit and talk, and I just honestly put it all out there and explain I hate myself, and I hate that I can't provide and care for my family the way I feel a mother should. We take moments to just openly put out there exactly how endometriosis has affected us individually, and ask questions like why, and how come, and why us, why me, or why her, or why him, or our family is healing. It's a little easier nowadays than it was initially, but we still have moments where it's extremely challenging. And I know that they don't want to see me break down, and I know that they don't want to see me hurt, and I know that they wish they could do something more to take it away and make it better, and you know, but in my eyes, I feel like a mom is the emotional rock to a family. She's the one that's supposed to kiss the boo-boos away. She's the one that has magic medicine that heals things, and she's the one that's able to push through the common cold and make dinner and clean and be a wife and mother and do all these things. The woman of the house. That's, in my mind, that's usually how it is, and that's how I felt it needed to be for me. And I feel like I was robbed of that because I can't always do what I set out to do. And in those moments where I just break down like that and I just can't. Doesn't matter what it is, I just can't. We take a moment to just sit and talk openly, and I feel like it really has helped us over time. It has helped heal us, but I personally feel like there's still something missing, because I may not have been able to bear more children and help, you know, grow my family. I wasn't able to give my child a sibling. I wasn't even able to give my husband a son. You know, it's something that I would have loved to be able to do. And, you know, if not a son, then another daughter would have been awesome. But I don't feel like Endo has only robbed us of more children. I feel like it's robbed me of so many things. And the one that was of highest importance was being a mother at the standard that I described. And I haven't been able to do that. And that's why I feel like something's missing. So yeah, it randomly hurts. It saddens me. It maddens me. It pisses me off. It makes me want to punch Endo in the throat. If Endo was a person, I would punch it in the throat so freaking hard. I get really belligerent when I think about what Endo has done to me. When I get that desperate in my emotions, it does something to me. I have to remember that it is a process, and I'm starting to work on healing myself mentally and spiritually, emotionally. Luckily for me now, I have found a great team of doctors that are able and capable to help, and I'm just hoping that, you know, it happens sooner than later, because I don't want to keep living with endometriosis ruling my life. I don't want to have to make decisions based on a period. I'm done with that. And I actually received the letter approving me for out-of-network coverage for my my treatment. And I've never been through that process before, was completely ignorant to all the information relevant to that. And I called up the insurance company and I asked, you know, how does this all work? Does the doctor send you a bill and you go, well, we'll only approve it for this much and I'm responsible for the rest? Or do you guys have to reimburse me? And they said, no, you go to your visits, you pay everything out of pocket, and then you give us a statement showing that you've paid your services in full and we'll reimburse you. And as excited as I was to get out of network coverage, I am now feeling like I'm back at square one, because I don't have the money to cover those expenses. I don't. And it just makes me realize that I need to hustle harder. I need to really give 100, 200, 300%, depending on how I'm feeling. And again, it brings me back to living my life ruled by Endo. Sometimes I can't even do 100%, like last week. I'm done living like this. So if you can and are able to support my health goals, I have many options. You can make a donation through GoFundMe. I'll place the link in the description box below. I set up the GoFundMe page, and the funds that I've raised through there are already gone because doctor's bills started rolling in from all my consultations, and the funds are gone. I have videos on YouTube. You can just subscribe, follow my work, subscribe to my channel, watch my videos, you know, like them, share them, comment on them. All of that helps me raise the money that I need. You know, if you're not into videos, I sell the press-on nails. You know, nails that I design for my videos are nails that I sell online. And I already have not a million, but you know, I have a lot of nail sets available for purchase through eBay as well as Etsy, and links for that are also in the description box below. You can follow my blog, you know, sign up to be a follower on my blog. That's another way that I can earn funds to be able to afford my medical treatment. So I have many different ways that you can help me. You can, if you want me to create more content and not be limited by my own personal funds that I invest into this little business venture, you can support my channel. Go to my channel's homepage and make a donation. I'd be very grateful, deeply grateful to that, because that means I can create better content and more diverse content for you guys to enjoy. So there's just many ways that you can support all of my work so I can get my health goals done. Like I want to get my health goals reached and done and over with and make them a thing of the past. And you can help me do that. Like I said, subscribe to my channel, like my videos, share them with your friends or family, comment on my videos. I'm very interactive on social media, so you can do that as well. You can go on my blog and follow all my work there. You can make a donation through GoFundMe. Again, all of these links are in the description box below. And if you are in a similar journey to mine with endometriosis and you don't have the information you need to start developing your own personal health goals, check the description box below, because I have links to the Endometriosis Research Center. I have a link for Endopedia. I have endometriosis.org down there. I have information on Lupron, so you can make an educated decision on your health. So don't feel like you're alone in this journey. I'm there with you. We are going to do this together, and know that I support you. I send you love and good vibes and hugs, and I do a rain dance and I'm tossing glitter just so it all works out for you and is not as challenging or as difficult for you to reach your own health goals. So thank you so much for tuning into my channel today. I really appreciate all the support you guys have given me. I really honestly could not have made it this far without you. And I will see you guys in the next Endo story video at the end of September. Thanks again. Bye.